My sisters and brothers, a writer named John Shea tells this story. He says this: "It happened in Oklahoma City when I was a young man, fresh on the speaker's circuit. I had just finished my talk, and people were coming up to ask me questions or point out things I should have said. An old Native American man, a Cherokee, suddenly stood in front of me. He had a large and elaborate belt buckle in his hands. It was a swirl of multicolored beads. If they formed a pattern, I couldn't detect it. He said to me, 'Please accept this gift.' I was a little taken back, but I had a quick response. 'Thank you, it's beautiful, but I can't accept it.' The Cherokee man had a puzzled look on his face and said to him, 'Why not?' I pointed to the expanse beneath my chest. I laughed and said, 'Well, would you call attention to this? To this stomach with a large, beautiful belt buckle?' The man did not smile back. He simply extended the belt buckle again. He said again, 'Please accept this.' I responded, 'It's too expensive.' This was probably closer to the truth of why I said no. I was always taught not to take expensive presents from people. The belt buckle was handcrafted and had a look of elegance about it. So the old man came right back at me. 'You know, you can give it to someone else.' I accepted the belt buckle. Eventually, I followed the old man's advice and gave the belt buckle to someone else, a student whom I thought had made some excellent progress in class. Student said that he could not take it. So I told the story of how I had received it. And then the student took the belt buckle with a knowing smile. Although we did not discuss it, I am sure that the student knew that the gift was to be given away. It was not a possession, but a mission. A gift is meant to be given away. I call this the law of the open hand. My sisters and brothers, Jesus in Luke's gospel today tells a story, a parable, with a powerful lesson about life and about possessions. First, Jesus clearly states this principle. Life does not consist in the abundance of possessions. Based on this fundamental belief, Jesus issues a warning to be on guard against greed, a sense that convinces us that we never have enough. It's that sense that drives us to acquire more and more possessions. It's a natural instinct. We always want more. But greed has the ability to penetrate our whole person and convince us that life, that in fact, can be secured by possessions. The more we have, the more secure we are. And our life has greater value. Second, Jesus illustrates his teaching, his principle, by telling this story of the rich man and the foolishness of greed. Notice that what is said to the guy is, "You fool." Jesus illustrates the man wasting his energy on an impossible task, securing his life. Jesus is speaking of the law of the closed hand. According to Jesus, the only real wealth consists of the richness of the relationship that we have toward God and toward our sisters and brothers. According to Jesus, real richness in life is about deepening those relationships. And so life is about our ability to grasp the relationship between our life as gift and not as possession, and God as the giver of the gift, and our ability to share this gift in mission in the ways that we treat all our sisters and brothers, especially those in need. I call this the law of the open hand. My brothers and sisters, God's word today challenges us to reflect on which law is more operative in our lives as people of faith who have real devotion to the person of Mary, which is why we're here, in the following of Jesus. The law of the closed hand or the law of the open hand? Let me just share two simple reflections about both laws. First, the law of the closed hand has a strong hold on us, including me. I'm not an exception to the rule. Notice that it never dawned on John Shea in his story that he was to give the belt buckle to someone else. It just never dawned on him. The old Native American man had to point it out to him with a gentle insistence. Please accept this belt buckle. John Shea thought that if he took the gift of the belt buckle, it was going to be his, to be thrown in a drawer with all the other things that he possessed. John Shea never thinks of sharing it. It's the human instinct to possess rather than to share. Actually, that's what it is. We joke about people, well, at least I do, whose homes are filled with closets full of clothes, boxes of trinkets, piles of gadgets. I know a guy that collected 24 TV sets that needed repair, and he never repaired them. Souvenirs, and what we would call trash. We wonder why some people gather so much clutter, so many unusable articles. The point is to own things, to have them, to possess them. It's the law of the closed hand. Our fingers are around it. We got it. We grab it. It's ours. It's Mary who shows us the appropriate response to gift. The clearest example for me is Mary at her Annunciation. She needed only two things: a message and someone to share that message with. The message was not like a high-browed message like from on high. Mary herself did not have high social standing. The message to Mary was a mission. Will you make love more present in the world? And Mary, as the receiver of that message, wondered how. She was puzzled at best or terrified of what God's messenger was asking her. But God's messenger was clear. A spirit named Holy will overshadow you. You can do this. You don't have to be alone. Go and visit Elizabeth, your cousin. And it is Mary who shows us that a gift is meant to be given away, to be shared with our sisters and brothers in need, because Elizabeth was an old woman who was pregnant. And so for Mary, it's anything but the law of the closed hand. Second, Jesus invites us to the law of the open hand. If your experience is anything like my own, when someone freely offers an undeserved or unexpected gift, And for me, gifts are unexpected and undeserved. We often push it away. On the surface, we have a good number of reasons for resisting. Look at John Shea. He didn't want the belt buckle to advertise his big belly. He learned that it was inappropriate to take an expensive gift from strangers. On a different level, a deeper level, we have a sense that when that happens, we're being drawn into a process that will change the way we do business. But the fact is that once we receive the free gift, we're automatically commissioned into the world of giving and sharing. So while our left hand still closes around things, our right hand begins to be open to others. And it's both Mary and Elizabeth who show us the appropriate response to gift, to participate in it with freedom and not to possess it out of fear. The clearest example for me is the exchange between these two pregnant women, a young pregnant woman, a very young pregnant woman, and a very old pregnant woman at the visitation. Elizabeth's story stands as a witness to God's desire for everyone who's obscure, held back, held down, confined, and oppressed. It's like God saying to Elizabeth, go to the door. I'm sending a visitor. Mary, whose greeting will make your heart leap for joy. And you know, when two pregnant women get together, what do? They share. They share their hopes and they share their fears. And Mary and Elizabeth stayed together for 3 months. That's a lot of talking. That's a lot of sharing. And so it's Mary's energy, which is like sparks of power that charges their encounter with each other with the recognition of the goodness that each of them carried in their bodies. It's the law of the open hand. And so, my sisters and brothers, today, tonight, tomorrow, soon, someone is moving towards you and me with a beautiful beaded belt buckle. He or she will not take no for an answer.